District 33. Nice place, huh? I am one fortunate person. God has been blessed me with no primary, no general election, so I'm working hard to elect Republicans around the state. And I have to tell you, I didn't know Tim until 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. We've had a couple chances to talk on the phone, and you're going to hear some really good things about a really good guy. But let's talk about the supporters, because you are as important as the candidate.
Amen.
Without your help, his efforts will fall short. And I have to tell you, I have a whole list of people here who have come out, opened their checkbooks, brought services and goods to this event tonight to help this fine young man. Now it's my job to introduce our candidate for governor. Wait a minute. And I have to tell you, I'm mad as hell. Yeah, you laugh? For 5 years I've been in the Maryland State Senate fighting these stupid asses. 40 tax and fee increases, gay marriage, DREAM Act, redistricting of our congressional and legislative sessions. I am fed up. I am mad as hell. Don't get in my way when I get mad. We have had a lot of fun this past primary season. We had 4 really good candidates. They worked from one end of the state to the other. And I got to tell you, I was impressed. The issues were discussed. People were asked to step up and vote and get out and get engaged. It didn't matter who you supported in the primary. It was a spirited, David used the term dignified, I think, in describing races. It was an honor to be in supporting people who would have done a good job. But I have to tell you, I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to do whatever I have to do to support the candidate who was successful in the primary. He's a businessman. He's a good husband. Important to me, family values. He has served in a Republican administration in this state. I'm telling you right now, there's no one more prepared. There's no one better. And I'm going to do what I can to fight for this guy. Let's hear it for Larry Hogan.
So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here tonight to support Tim Walters, who's going to make an excellent member of the House of Delegates. Thank you so much for your support. I'm really proud to have him on the team, and the fact that you stepped up and you're willing to run in this district. And you know, I know this is a very important district. District 32, it's important for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's an economic engine for our state. You know, we've got NSA and Fort Meade and BWI and Baltimore Washington Hospital and
Northrop Grumman.
Northrop Grumman is here, and we've got Arundel Mills. A lot of great things, a lot of big employment here in this district. And unfortunately, we've got some Democrats representing us. But I'll tell you what, I remember Jim Ripkowski did a great job representing this district. Yep. And the next guy that's going to represent this district is this gentleman standing right here, Tim Walters. He's going to do a great job. And we were talking a little earlier, and I told him, you know, I'm going to look forward to swearing him in as the next governor, and I'm going to sign his certificate. He doesn't want to have Anthony Brown's name on the wall in his office. I know that. Right, Tim? Well, thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you for supporting Tim. Thank you for everything you do for our party. I know we even have some Democrats here tonight. I want to thank you for being here, too, because it's the only way we're going to change our state. As Ed Riley said, I'm a businessman, never held elective office. I'm just completely fed up with politics as usual in Annapolis, and I'm running because I think it's time that we bring real change to Annapolis. I know that's why Tim's running, too. Our state is way off track and headed in the wrong direction. I can tell you, when I was a cabinet secretary for Bob Ehrlich, when we turned over the keys to this administration, we had $1 billion cash surplus in the bank, and the state was in the best fiscal shape it's been in decades. And what's happened over the last 8 years? Over the last 8 years, they've increased spending by $10 billion, an increase of 36%. How many of you increased your spending by 36%? Not many of you. How'd they pay for all that increased spending? 40 consecutive tax hikes that have taken an additional $10 billion out of the pockets of small businesses and struggling Maryland families. We can't take it anymore. These guys have never met a tax they didn't like or one they didn't hike. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we simply cannot afford a third term of O'Malley Brown tax and spend politics as usual. You're supposed to clap on that one, you don't want to, do you? Here's some good news. You know, we're outnumbered in this state. There's only 26% of the state is Republican. And when I first decided to run for governor, most people thought I was completely crazy. Thought we had no chance whatsoever. Well, I don't know if you've been following what's been happening here in our state, but an overwhelming majority of Marylanders, regardless of their party affiliation, even though we're outnumbered, there's independents and Democrats who are crossing over. They're just as fed up as we are about politics as usual in Annapolis. They're tired of tax and spend politics. They're tired of losing businesses and jobs. These 40 tax increases, the O'Malley Brown tax increases, have crushed our economy. We've lost 10 of our 13 Fortune 500 companies. We've lost 8,000 small businesses. Unemployment has doubled. The jobs numbers just came out last month. We led the nation in job loss for July. We're number 2 in the nation in foreclosures. We have zero economic growth. We've lost 26% of our manufacturing base. And in spite of so many wonderful things we have here in Maryland, we have so many great advantages. Our state economy ranks 49th out of 50 states. 49th. That is simply unacceptable. The people of Maryland deserve better. With your help, this November, we're going to send a loud and clear message to those politicians in Annapolis, and together we will change Maryland for the better. And here's some good news for you. Here's some great news. For the first time since 2002, when my friend Bob Ehrlich was elected, we have a neck-and-neck race for governor. 3 recent polls show us in single digits, 5-6 points. One of these polls was done by Anthony Brown, the one that shows us 5 points down. Let me tell you, our opponents completely took this race for granted. Completely. It was a coronation. They thought the race was over in June. They never even polled the general election. Who cares about Republicans? They're only 26%. Hey, Bob Ehrlich got blown out by 15 points. Who's this Hogan guy? We don't have to worry about him. Anthony Brown thought when he beat Doug Gansler and Heather Mazier, the race was over. They never did a poll until 10 days ago when they found out it was neck and neck. They're scared to death. They're in complete meltdown. They're panicking over there. They're attacking us every single day. They have no campaign whatsoever. They've spent all their money winning the primary. He raised $12 million of special interest money just to beat Doug Gansler. He has no money left. Look, with your help, we're going to win this race, and we're going to elect Tim Walters to the House of Delegates. And I'm going to look forward to serving with them. And thank you all very much for coming out here to support him. Here's Tim.
I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. This was tremendous. This is a humbling experience. I want to give thanks to the team. If you're in a blue shirt or you're on the team and you haven't gotten a blue shirt yet, stand up and come to the middle, please. Dad, Patrick, Josh, Caleb, Dave. Where's my Daves? I got bookends that are Daves. These guys are just phenomenal. We have girls. Kristen Scherf couldn't be here tonight because she's starting her master's program, but she's my volunteer coordinator. I am nothing without these folks. I believe in a motto, one team, one fight, and we're going to do it, and that explains why a lot of you are in this room. I believe in community and things of that nature, but this team is what's going to do it. We believe in certain things. We're principled, and that's where we're going to get there. Ultimately, I have to thank God. I know that seems corny for a lot of people, but I got asked to run. Alex Urema, I still don't know where we're at on that. I went to my church elders. We prayed long and hard, and then I went to the most important person in my life. Where'd she go? Karen. 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 Come on in. She's got my grandson. Come on in. Give her a big hand. So what's important about Karen is we've been married almost 30 years, most of it hard, most of it my fault. I'm retired from the Navy. And then I spent 10 years out, again, serving in the Army, with the Army, I should say, actually sometimes in uniform, doing odd things, and she has supported it all the way. So again, to Lynn, I want to thank you, because without Scott, there's no, you got to have a Lynn behind it. So again, and for all the other wives here, for all the people who are running, it's a family, and that's really important. We can't lose sight of that. I have deep roots in the District 32. GAC, Gabriel, I call him GAC, is fifth generation Linthicum. So we have deep ties into that neighborhood. And again, I've spent my whole life serving this country in different places. So I didn't spend time here. My opponents like to get on me about improvement associations, but I went into harm's way so that we could all sit here. What's humbling about this place is those chairs over there. A lot of people don't understand what this foundation that Scott runs does. He takes amputees, double, triple, quadruple, and he gives them mobility. So my job in the Navy was an explosive ordnance disposal technician, bomb squad. So this is humbling to me because, sorry, Scott. My job is to protect those guys. So every time one of them shows up, one of me failed. So that's really important. But again, it's people like this in Maryland, in Anne Arundel County, that makes us a community. You know, you heard Larry say there's Democrats in this room. I look at this as neighbors. Everything is about neighbors. I have some Jessup neighbors here I've gotten fairly close to. I've already started serving them because I am going to win. And this is about communities and common sense. I have deep values in my family. I have, you know, all my children are grown. They're all products of the public education system. I believe in common sense. Education is something the other side has run for a long time, and it doesn't work. We have, Jonathan, where are you at? Trying to build a high school in Crownsville. He can't build a high school in Crownsville because the incumbents have set a system up where all our money goes to subsidizing other educations, Baltimore City, and to a lesser degree, PG County. Again, I'm a Christian. I'm not about not helping them. What I'm about is common sense and not putting money into failed systems. So I do that for the Army. I do change management. And what we do is we go in and we help them get efficient. And that's what I'm in this to do. This isn't about emotion and other things. This is about taking hard looks and making hard decisions. I need to help my district. I feel that we have not had that help in a long time in my district. My district rests in Steve Shoes County. Anne Arundel County is vital to me because I'm a member of it. I'm a member of that county, which is in Larry Hogan's state. And that's the way this works. We're communities. We're not Dems and Republicans. We're not Jessup and Linthicum and Russet and Linthicum and others. We're people. I've got a large gun showing here tonight, all right? Because we believe in common sense in the Second Amendment. We believe in individual rights. If you'll bear with me for a minute, I want to read the First Amendment to the Maryland Constitution, which I think is very critical, and I think we should all take away tonight that article, that all government of right originates from the people. That's us. Is founded in compact only and instituted solely for the good of the whole. Solely for the good of the whole. That's us. That's us as a community. That's not small enclaves or individuals. That's us coming together to solve problems. And that's what I believe in, collaboration. I don't have the answers. The education. Herb McMillan came out with a great op-ed a couple weeks ago. I've gotten knee-deep in that. I'm going to talk to Maureen about health care. This is about putting the right people together and holding the government accountable. This is about stopping waste. We have a rain tax. Because we let them give us a rain tax, they're now looking at a vehicle mileage tax. Again, my neighbors in Jessup are a huge transportation hub. It's going to destroy that. If you're a transportation person, why wouldn't you move 20 miles up to Pennsylvania? Doesn't affect anything. Gas is cheaper up there anyway. We have to stop that stuff. This is common sense. It's common sense leadership. Again, we blinked. They got away with that. I had one of my incumbents tell me in a forum when I asked, what are you going to tax snow next to pay for the removal? She said absolutely she'd consider that. Again, if we don't hold them accountable, they will keep pushing us. And we have to stop that. And the last thing, because we're here to have fun tonight, not hear me talk all night, I want to tell you a quick story. So I was in dive school years ago in Panama City, and I was the class leader. We had this wicked bright kid, excellent shape, just couldn't swim. We're in dive school, figure that out. So my goal as the class leader was to get everybody through, and then we go on to the next phase. So we put him between us, me and my other, because when you got big legs, you're really good with fins. So we put him between us and we're swimming. So we're swimming along, face down, all of a sudden I hear a clunk. Okay, what's going on? I hear it again. So I stop because we're lurched. Well, the instructor was out there in a kayak and he hit the other guy with an oar on his head and said, "What are you doing?" So long story short, he broke. "Oh, we're cheating. We're helping the guy in the middle." So as a class leader, I get called in. And there was a guy named Gunner Shepard, your size. So I'm standing there as he's poking me in the chest. "What are you doing?" "Well, I'm trying to get us all through." Well, he said something that has stayed with me to this day. He said, "Your job is extremely dangerous. This process exists for a purpose, and it's to weed out those that cannot make it. That's not your call." And why that's important to me today is where our society, our politics, and our governance has gone. And notice I use the word governance. We don't do that enough. So what I mean by that is we all in that class started out equal. We all had a goal, and that was to become an EOD tech in the Navy and go support special ops and go do a lot of fun and exciting things. He didn't make it. He shouldn't have made it. If he had, because I'd gotten him through, I would have endangered lives. So I firmly believe in a process and in America that I've spent a long time defending where we start at the same line. But we don't all get to the same point. I worked harder than that guy. I work harder than a lot of people. You shouldn't take my money. I shouldn't be penalized for that. Now, through my church and my other mediums, I can give back. You put more money in my pocket, I will tithe more. I will give more to my church. No one knows my community better than my church, period. What's more important about my church and in those type of faith-based organizations is they can tell people when enough is enough. The government cannot do that. Once you're in the system, you're done. It's called a safety net. Why do they use the word net? What do you do with a net? You fish with it. You catch things. You use a net because it can't get out. So that's what I want to leave you with. Again, this is about us coming together as a community, starting to make change where everybody has the same opportunities and then holding folks accountable when they don't make it. Because ultimately, it's about accountability. So I thank all of you tonight. Please thank all of the people in blue shirts you see. Thank all the candidates for what they're doing, because this isn't easy. This is my first go. But again, thanks all of you for coming out. It's truly humbling.